the first time, Joe, that you and I have had a good rundown of everything that we're talking about today. Because typically we start the show and we're like, hey, what do you want to talk about? And we talk about it for like 5 seconds and then the podcast starts, right?
Yeah, the first time we planned something.
But today we're like, we got a lot to get in. So I probably should have had like a paper and pen to write down all the different things we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
So if I forget something, let me know.
Yeah, no doubt.
Does this mean that Patty Mills is officially retired? He has, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not putting I don't
know.
Paperwork in.
He hasn't said that he's officially retired, but does it mean that he's retiring? We just haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about his new gig, if you will.
Yeah,
pretty
good morning,
exciting stuff, man.
You got to tell us how much money you won in Vegas.
Oh yeah, man. I tell you what, I want a hangover because right now, brutal.
How did Chica do? Did she make any money?
Oh, we'll talk about that a little bit, man. What she got me for Father's Day was pretty remarkable. I know Father's Day is this upcoming weekend, but she wanted to give me my Father's Day gift early.
Okay. Is it safe for air?
Yeah, it is.
I'm like,
oh, hey, that's
load management.
The Apache war cry.
Oh God, Garrett, he's here. Hey everyone, what's up? What's up, Matt? Welcome, July 26th, and Garrett from the Netherlands. Thank you for joining.
Load management, Mike. Hey, that wasn't me. I'm off on Fridays typically.
Yeah, no, my son got sick. I had to take him to the doctor. We're in the urgent care. Seems like he just has like a viral thing going on. They gave him some meds and stuff.
Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast to you live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas? What's going on? Garrett from the Netherlands. He's in the house today. This is the Area 210 podcast coming at you. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. We go about an hour 15, hour 30 talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Lots of sports to get into today because, Joe, you and I started the show talking about, hey, what are we going to get into?
We're going to talk
and there's like 7 or 8 topics that we want to get into, all pretty big.
Hey,
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's give some love to our international fans. We have Garrett from the Netherlands, and then we have Kaisel from France joining us.
From France.
So, there you go. Welcome.
We're going to have lots of Spurs talk today, I promise you, because it's kind of weird turning on ESPN, reading ESPN.com, and hearing a lot about the Spurs. They talk a lot about the Lakers. They talk a lot about the Knicks and all the big market teams. But the Spurs are getting a lot of love this week when it comes to the four-letter network, so we'll get into that a little bit. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals, tied 1-1. Joe got it right. The Pacers stole Game 1. Oklahoma City was in control of Game 2. We'll get into that. Patty Mills, former Spur Patty Mills, the former Spurs legend. They need to have his jersey on the banner, on the rafters, dude. I would not mind that. He was a part of this community. Spurs do it differently. I know we have some Hall of Famers up there, but some non-Hall of Famers. Patty Mills, a fan favorite for a decade. Has a new gig. I guess this means he's retired from the NBA. Has not submitted his papers yet, but he does have a gig. And guess what, Joe? That gig runs through the NBA season. So I think we've seen the last of Patty Mills on an NBA roster. We'll talk about that. We'll hear from him. We're also going to hear from Micah Parsons because Micah Parsons, wasn't he cute this weekend? Taking part in a TikTok trend by calling somebody near and dear to his heart to wish them good night. It was a funny story. We'll get into that. Joe, how's your son doing, man? We missed yesterday's show because of the illness. How's he doing?
He's doing better. He's just got some type of viral thing going on. The best they can do is just give him some meds to treat the symptoms, but just got to write it out,
Yeah.
No antibiotics, anything like that. It's just like stuff for normal, almost like a cold in a way, That's all they can do. Just treat the symptoms and that send him on his way.
I hope he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I am suffering from what is commonly referred to as the Vegas flu. That's when you go to Vegas and you party for 3 or 4 days and then you come back. You're not sick, which you are. You are hungover. You are dehydrated. And that's what I am. I spent 1 day in Vegas, spent 3 days in Laughlin, Nevada, which, by the way, Chica loved Laughlin, Nevada.
Yeah.
They have renovated it. It's amazing. It's on the Colorado River at the border of Arizona and New Mexico. Arizona and Nevada, rather, on the Nevada side. And it's so beautiful. It's in the middle of nowhere. You've got these 7 or 8 casinos all lined up. You got Edgewater, Harrah's, you got Tropicana, Aquarius, you've got Golden Nugget, all just boom, 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 right next to each other. It's Vegas. It's low stakes, Joe. They're playing $5 craps. They have $5 and $10 blackjack hands. It's low stakes, but man, it's so much fun over there. And he asked the question mockingly, Joe, did you win any money in
No, not
in
mockingly.
casinos?
It's like, no, I was wondering if you won money, because usually when you go, you win some money.
I typically break even pretty often, right? Chica and I got our asses handed to us when we went to Lake Charles the other day. But I tell you what, man, we were hitting like crazy there in Laughlin. We were hitting. I mean, I'd say collectively we probably hit 4 or 5 slot machines that were $500 to $600, $500 to $700. I would say that I won at blackjack. They had a really cool blackjack game, Joe, that was kind of interesting, which was if you got blackjack, they let you spin a wheel and you got to win an additional dollar amount. You had to ante up for that, but it was pretty cool. You also won money if the dealer busted. There's a variation of blackjack that was pretty cool. I wanted slots. I wanted everything but craps. Craps is the only game that I did not do well in. I would say overall won probably, I'd say we came home with about 2,000 more than what we started with, which isn't bad. It's a free trip, but it was all said and done. Literally was a free trip because I used mileage to go over there to buy my tickets, and my rooms got comped. So we actually got paid to be there.
We want to hear the story about this damn Tesla that you rented.
Oh, my God. I'm so glad you brought that up because I didn't know you were going to. We show up. We rented out a mid-size SUV, right? And it says it could be like this type of vehicle, right? It could be like maybe a Toyota Highlander or
mid-size SUV. They didn't say which one.
Right. We show up and they're like, here's your SUV, sir. And they give us a Tesla car. They're like, well, the inside is the size of an SUV. I turned it in yesterday, sweating bullets, because we're out in the middle of the desert. There's no charging stations. You want to turn the AC on because it's 108 degrees outside. And it says your projected battery percentage left over at the end of the drive is going to be this. And I'm like, oh, no big deal. It says 16%. Got down to 14, got down to 12, got down to 10. Joe, I pulled in to the dollar rental with 2% battery left over. And you know how when you have when you rent a car, you have to bring it back full? Or you got to pay to have it. You got to pay like $6 a gallon to fill it up. They require you to either pay $30 to bring it at any charging level, or they will charge you based on how long that it takes for them to charge it, right? I paid the $30, thank God, because watching that thing get charged took effing forever, Joe.
Like 2 hours just to go ahead and get it to 50 miles or something?
Dude, it's so stupid. It is so stupid. Teslas are the dumbest cars I've ever seen.
No, you said it drove like shit.
Oh my God, dude. You put your foot off the gas, it stops. You know, any regular car, you take your foot off the gas, it just coasts. It stops. It is the stupidest car I've ever driven in my entire life. They're like, oh, well, you save money on gas. Well, you lose time because you have to sit there for 2 hours to wait to get charged, or drive around parking lots looking on maps going, hey, where's the nearest charging station? And then there's a difference between the supercharger and a regular charger. Regular charger takes forever to charge up.
12 hours.
The supercharger will do it in 2 hours, 0 to 100 in 2 hours, right? These casinos have these chargers in them, and then it's like you show up to one of them, they might not have it in stock. Or there might be none of them there, or they're all being taken. It was brutal, Joe. I will never own a Tesla. I will never buy a Tesla. I will never rent a Tesla ever again, or any EV. I am liberal about lots of things, but those cars are whack, man.
It didn't
Those
drive like a car,
suck.
you're saying? It wasn't like a normal car?
It drove like a go-kart.
Like you were at the golf cart, like at the golf
Yeah,
course?
and then you have to, and then like it was the paddle shifters on top of it all. There was nothing manly about that Tesla car. That was a weak car. And just for the record, I own Tesla stock. Okay, so I hope they make a ton of money. But I'm somebody who will never, ever, ever get that. Hey, Joe, guess what I did last night, Joe?
What'd you do?
It finally happened. Took 2 years, Joe. 2 long freaking years. Finally signed my divorce papers yesterday.
Finally?
Finally got it
Time to
signed.
go get a cigar?
I was at the Austin Bergstrom International Airport. My attorney going, here's the decree, DocuSign it. And I read it, during we flew from Vegas to Austin.
You made sure no changes were made.
Yeah. I was going, sign. So that 2-year nightmare is finally over, Joe.
Officially done.
Yeah, I am now lighter in the pockets because of it, but I'm glad that it's over.
Moving on, bro. You close the book to that chapter, moving on to something different.
I know. I mean, 2 years, Joe. 2 years it took.
Hey, so now we can go have the celebratory good cigar somewhere.
Yeah. I have a bottle of bourbon. I don't know what the next step is because it's going to be taken to the Bexar County Court today.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next step is. Like, is it on the spot? Is there a time frame by which we have to because I'm the one who filed, and I filed like 2 years ago, and I don't know what the next step is. My attorney is making it seem like I don't have to do anything. Like, just hang tight, just be there. I'll be in San Antonio later on this week because it's Father's Day weekend, and I'm excited about that. I'm getting my daughter. She's going to be coming back and going to be with me for the next 6 weeks, so I'm pretty excited about it. Hey, Joe, best part of the trip to Laughlin?
Yeah.
Going into a room that was built for cochinos, man.
Oh,
I tell you what, the number of mirrors on the wall over there and on the bed, what the hell's going on, man?
Is it the heart-shaped bed?
It wasn't the heart-shaped bed, and no, it's not like Clark W. Griswold where you put the quarter in and it starts to vibrate. It wasn't that, but I was just it wasn't like a little mirror. It was like the full bed-length mirror.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
Look at what Sam Salinas is saying. He goes, Mike, meet me at Fink's. Mike, I got you on the cigar.
Nice. Fink Cigars. Very cool.
He's serious. He says, let's go, man.
Let's go, dude. This weekend, Saturday.
There's that other place that I was telling you about that's right across from the Rock and Brews, that cigar place that they have right across the street from Rock and Brews over there on 1604. So you go in there, Mike, and it's like they have a nice lounge, right? Leather sofas everywhere. They have a bar in there, and you can get you a pour. You can go right next door, where they sell the cigars. Get your cigar, go into the bar, sit down. They got TVs all over the place. You can watch a game or something. Sit down, just smoke a cigar right there in the air condition. Enjoy you a nice pour. And it's a nice place, man.
I got to check it out, man. Sounds badass. Yeah. I've driven by it multiple times. I got to check that out. I was checking out UTSA baseball. Congratulations, man. Round of applause, UTSA baseball. Their season came to an end at the Super Regionals. They got swept by the UCLA Bruins over the weekend. I was in Vegas. I was in Laughlin watching them play. It was so cool, though, man. And
let's give them a clap, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. We're doing good,
What a run. What a run for the UTSA Roadrunners. Essentially, the basketball version of it all is that they made the Sweet 16. Right? That's what they did. They got up 2-0 against UCLA in game 1. I was super excited. Second pitch of the game, homer to left field. UTSA was up. They were up 2-0 going into the fourth inning. Ended up losing that game 5-2. Then they lost 7-0 yesterday. That was brutal to watch. But at the end of the day, we're very, very proud to see UTSA do well, considering the fact that they don't have the facilities, they don't have the field, they don't have the NIL money, and they still made it that far. They beat UT, second-ranked Texas Longhorns, twice in Austin. What a run for the Roadrunners. Fantastic. Hopefully UTSA takes care of them.
Yeah.
And I know the football team's big and all, but UTSA baseball just put themselves on the map, and that is good, dude. That's a very, very good thing.
And they put themselves on the map, and maybe now that they've put themselves on the map and show that they can compete at a high level, hopefully that translates into them getting some better facilities, man. It's long overdue, man. It's time.
Need something. Now, Jonathan Pettis is on our YouTube stream, which is powered by MCS General Contracting. Y'all seeing bald ass Wemby?
Shaolin Wemby.
What was going on with all that? Because I kept on seeing the photos when I was checking Twitter over the weekend. Apparently, he's where is he, Joe? Is he in the Philippines or where is he at?
No, he's in China, dude. So he was out there visiting at the Great Wall of China. Right?
That's right.
So he's doing his thing, doing his tour over in China. And let's be honest, dude, this is probably going to be a business visit. He's out there inking a deal with some Chinese manufacturer of either clothing, shoes, something. It's not. He's not out there just to be on vacation. It's a business meeting.
Now, is this AI stuff or did this really happen?
This is legit from what they're saying.
So Fernandez, our good friend Rick Fernandez, United States Marine Corps retired, tweeted out there about an hour ago saying that he's tired of this, that he's like done with watching this stuff of Wemby in China, that he's not impressed. I 100% endorse that. I agree with Fernandez when it comes to this, because I saw this all weekend long, and every time I looked at it, I was not interested or fascinated at all by this. But there is a thing for NBA players to go to China because China is the number 2 market.
Yeah.
Some would say maybe even the number 1 market for the NBA. And the reason for that is because they have 4 times more people than the United States do.
All the jerseys get manufactured over there, man. Shoes, everything. Come on.
And, NBA players go over there. We saw that with Kobe, and we saw that back in the day with other stars, Dwight Howard, LeBron. They all go out there and they try to build a brand, and it's an international brand.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever people threaten to boycott the NBA, they don't care. Because here's the thing about Major League Baseball, the NFL.
Yeah.
Their bread and butter is domestic, right? So we say that the NFL is king, and that is true. The NFL is king in the United States. But no one cares about the NFL outside of the United States. You get a couple of games in Germany, a couple of games in the UK, but they don't really follow these teams. The NBA could lose its popularity in the United States, and guess what? Be perfectly fine. Because all the international markets, Europe follows the NBA, China follows the NBA, Australia follows the NBA, everyone else follows the NBA. It's not just the NBA. Basketball truly is an international sport, just like soccer is.
Yeah. And look at what Rafa says. Wemby inspecting new shoes. And JHNSB says Wemby doing everything but practicing basketball. No lies detected.
Oh, no. He played horse with that guy on the north side the other day.
That
kid.
He's out there living his life. He's out there at the Shaolin monk temple or whatever. Decides, hey, man, I'm playing a good picture here. Why don't you? But he let one of the monks shave his head bald so he can go out there and hang out with them for 10 days or whatever, doing a fast, learning about that religion that the monks are into, learning about their culture and their ways and whatnot. I guess he wants to have a spiritual enlightening kind of thing. But regardless of that,
spiritual enlightening, I'd rather have him have an inside game.
Exactly. That's what I was going to get to. It's like, instead of all this, why doesn't he spend the time on the court getting to, do something with his game,
If the rumors are true and he's actually 7'6", get your ass under the basket. Enough of chunking threes, man. Get your ass underneath the basket. Dude, we're getting some love right now, man. We've got some.
Let's go ahead and
chats coming in. One from Tex-Mex Frank and one from Sam Salinas.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Tex-Mex Frank says, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Says, quote, a great job to UTSA baseball. Spurs hopefully make a good offseason move. Wemby needs a 2-0 neck tattoo, and Cowboys start camp. He wants the grito. For those of you who are in the Netherlands, for those of you who are in France watching this is what's called a grito, okay? Or as my girl calls it, the Navajo battle cry during sex.
Oh God.
Here is the grito that he is paid for.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
All right, that's right. We also have a $5 super chat coming in from Sam Salinas and the
Yep.
Drew Show.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get to these real quick.
Sam
man.
says,
Here
"quote
comes the
I am."
money.
You gotta play this. You gotta play the jingle.
Here comes the money.
Sam Salinas says, "I'm tired of speculative Spurs talk. No action, no comment from the Spurs. Tired of stupid pictures of KD and or Giannis in Spurs jerseys." We're gonna get to the before we get to Drew's. Let's talk about that real fast. The good thing I can say about this, Sam, is that in 2 weeks, all the speculation goes away.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have the NBA draft in just over 2 weeks. And at that point, all the trade rumors are pretty much going to die, at least 90% of them. Okay. I understand not wanting to see other players in a Spurs jersey, that are photoshopped. We saw that when it says Laker fans want to have Wemby and they show Wemby in a Lakers jersey, right? I don't want to see that either. But the fact of the matter is that there is probably stuff going on behind the scenes that we'll never know. But one thing that we know for sure, though, is that it seems like Giannis isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Because that was the big rumor. Can the Spurs go after Giannis? And Brian Windhorst on ESPN, and yes, Joe, they fit him in one box today. Brian Windhorst on ESPN said there is no market for Giannis. There's no trade market, no trade offers for him, and that he has not asked for a trade. So basically saying that the idea of him going anywhere is fantasy land. And at this point right now, maybe it's because the asking price is too high. Maybe it's because Giannis doesn't want to go anywhere. Maybe he's dedicated to that franchise. Whatever the case may be, fact of the matter is that as of right now, there's nothing there. Can that change? Obviously, things can change. But as of now, nothing's there. And Brian Windhorst was there saying, what is this right here?
Yeah, he says right now there is no Giannis trade market.
Can we hear from Brian Windhorst here?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get the video.
This is on ESPN's Get Up this morning.
Yep, we'll hear from him right now.
But right now, there is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade market. There is no Giannis Antetokounmpo trade discussions. He has not asked for it. The Bucks are not looking to trade him. And I just want to point something out about Karl Towns. While everybody in New York may want to trade him, he is an in his prime all-NBA player that contributed significantly to the Knicks, going the farthest they have in 25 years.
Right.
I just want to point that out. But
So the Karl Anthony Towns talk that he was talking about, that's Brian Windhorst on ESPN's Get Up this morning, talking to Mike Greenberg. The no market for him. And then going on to Karl Anthony Towns was saying, all these teams that thought that they had a chance to go get Giannis are now doing what? Pivoting towards Kevin Durant. And I know Kevin Durant's, 36 years old, going to be 37 next season. But he's still a 50, 40, 30 guy, right? He's a guy who gets 30 points per game, shoots 50% from the field, 40% from three. The guy is still a stud. He's still an all-star. He's still an offensive juggernaut. Karl Anthony Towns, though, if the Knicks want to get KD, that would have to be the person they got rid of. And Windhorst was asking the question, is that really what you would want to do as a Knicks fan to do that? But the idea of the Spurs getting Kevin Durant is a big, big deal. You'd see all these figureheads on Talking Heads on ESPN saying that the two places that seem most likely are San Antonio and Houston. And that either team that gets him, and I believe in this too, either team that gets Kevin Durant, Spurs or Houston, is going to be poised for a championship run.
Yeah.
You put a team out there with Durant, Wemby on the same team together with you get Dylan Harper, got Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Sohan playing defense, not having to shoot the ball anymore. That is a solid team, Joe. That is a super solid team.
Yeah, we have also a incoming super chat from the Drew Show as well. So we're going
Drew Show talking about.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And he says, if you're an NBA player, you have to genuflect to the CCP, which is the Chinese government.
Yeah.
It's mandatory like jury duty. It's slave labor, not actual slavery. It's interesting how there are people who are like very, very anti-China and some that are okay with China. I'm kind of indifferent when it comes to it all.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that whether we are somebody who is liberal or conservative, we rely on Chinese labor all the time. China, Vietnam, Indonesia. Look at the back of your shirt. I'm wearing a Nike shirt, right?
Yeah.
I bet you it's made in China. I bet
You
you
know
it's
where
made in
all the
Indonesia.
steel in the United States comes from? China.
China.
They make their own. They make a very small percentage of steel that's made here in America that's used here, but mostly everything is imported.
Right. Yeah. Hey, so going back into the Spurs talk with going after certain players, we have people in our chat going on saying the Spurs should go after Lauri Markkanen. Jonathan C saying that, dude, Lauri Markkanen's always hurt, dude. Lauri Markkanen is a brittle player. We've seen players like LeBron James, superstar LeBron James, go out and say that Lauri Markkanen is one of his favorite players to watch, saying that he has a great skill set, which is true.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, but you're going to play 50 games? Because that's what he does. That's all he's good for.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one step above Kawhi Leonard in availability, is Lauri Markkanen.
Everybody wants Lauri Markkanen. You know who else wanted Lauri Markkanen? James Pledger.
Yeah, he's in love with Lauri Markkanen. And if Lauri Markkanen played 80 games a year, 75 games a year, he'd be a star. But he doesn't.
Yeah. Getting back to this KD to SA talk, we saw a lot of the chatter. And we even seen Jeff Garcia retweet the comments that were being made about KD. Is he really coming to San Antonio or not? And then we had this that, earlier today or yesterday, should I say, Jeff retweeted out. And it says, Bill Simmons is stirring the pot, believes Kevin Durant Spurs trade might already be finalized, just not announced yet. And he goes on to say, he wouldn't be surprised if KD to the Spurs is done already, and they just haven't announced it yet. Basically, they've agreed to specifics, just announce it on the week of the draft. This goes back to the Giannis thing. I think that the trade for KD, because it costs less, is what he's saying.
Right.
He thinks the Spurs are going to trade for KD because it costs less, and they have to give up less in order to obtain him.
Do we have sound of Bill Simmons from The Ringer?
No, we don't have it. I think this is via YouTube, and if I play it through YouTube, they're going to go ahead and knock us for playing that because it's copyrighted material.
Yeah, you're right. So Bill Simmons just basically said that he thinks that a trade has already been done, that he would not be surprised by this, because I think a lot of times whenever we see a draft day trade, we think to ourselves, man, they just got it done that day or they got it done that hour. But he was basically saying that trades are oftentimes announced on draft night or the day before draft night, but they were really consummated week 2, 3 weeks before. And for him to go off and say, hey, go off and get Kevin Durant, get Wemby, his mentor, get an offensive shooter who can knock down 40% from three, can shoot 27 points per game and score you 27 points per game. Get all that, get Dylan Harper, keep your draft picks, and basically just reload that way is the appropriate way of doing things, man. And Kevin Durant, what's it going to cost? Well, I mean, here's the thing. Houston also wants him. It's not like we're the only team that is going after him. So I know a lot of Spurs fans are there going, well, we'll trade the 14, Vassell, and Harrison Barnes. That may, in fact, get it done. But if you know Houston's offering somebody, if Houston's offering Jalen Green, who has struggled, if they're offering players that are young and hungry, they're not going to offer Thompson. They're not going to offer but maybe what if they offer Şengün? What if they offer somebody who is a borderline all-star? That's what the Spurs have to compete with. What we can't do as Spurs fans, or the Spurs organization can't do, rather, is take this and say, hey, if you want to go get Durant, go get Durant. Right? I don't give a crap if it costs Keldon or Sohan or Devin or whomever. As long as it doesn't cost Castle, Fox, Wemby,
bye,
Dylan Harper,
everybody
everybody else is on the table.
Yeah, they're all tradable assets. At the end of the day, I don't think Spurs fan would be mad if they go ahead and get Kevin Durant on this team. Kevin
So
Durant will be great with the Spurs, Spurs starting five.
Justin asked the question, what's a realistic offer for KD? Now, KD, correct me if I'm wrong, is in the final year of his deal, right?
Correct.
But what if you offer them the 2026 swap that the Spurs have with Atlanta?
Yeah.
Or the 2027 pick that we have from Atlanta?
Because you got to think about the Suns. That would be attractive to them because as they move forward and they're going to go into a rebuild mode, they know they're not going to be very good for the foreseeable future. So those picks would be coming in clutch for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's attractive. And somebody in the chat had even said Suns are wanting to rebuild and recoup all the draft picks that they lost building this super team. So Spurs have the edge there. They do because they have the draft picks. And again, that might be something that's more attractive to the Phoenix Suns if they're looking to go ahead and move KD. And, all these things are rumors. It's not nothing that's, solidified or it's going to really stick. I fully expect to come out, on draft day and the chatter will be, of course, Kevin Durant. But I don't think anything's going to happen with the San Antonio Spurs and Kevin Durant. I think it's going to be one of those things that draft day comes and goes. Spurs go ahead and select their number 2 pick, their number 14 pick, and the other pick that they have, forgot what it was, 38 or 41 or something like that. And there you go. Not a lot of things going on as far as wheeling and dealing. That might happen after the draft. Who knows? But before, I don't think so.
Hey, Joe, I agree with you. We're not going to know anything until draft time happens, right?
Yeah.
But, Joe, you have a phone number there that people can send us links. What is that number there?
Yeah, so if they want to go ahead and be a part of the show, what they can do is go ahead and be part of something we call media share. So if you want to go ahead and share any pictures, links to articles, video, anything of that nature, the number is 830-391-9164. Just text it to that number and we'll show it in the context of the show.
I'm going to send you one right now, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I just sent it to you right now, and if you want to click on that, there's an article on sportsillustrated.com that's talking about FanDuel Sportsbook.
Okay.
And they have the odds out for who's Kevin Durant going to play for next.
All right. Let me go ahead and show that here now that I pulled that up. And again, that's how the media share works, man. We even use it here as the show's going on live. And there you go.
There you go. This is written this weekend. Rockets, Spurs set as favorites. Now they have for this upcoming season the Rockets at 3-1 odds, plus 300. They have him returning to Phoenix at plus 470, so basically just under 5-1 odds. But the second best team to get him via a trade, they have the San Antonio Spurs at plus 650, 6.5-1 odds, followed by Minnesota, New York, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks.
And there you are.
So I find this to be fascinating, Joe. The Rockets and Spurs are poised to be the one. Dude, if Durant goes to the Rockets, it's game over, dude. It's game over. It's Oklahoma City, it's Houston, and then it's everybody else at that point. And I think what the Spurs organization needs to realize is that this is an arms race. And we have to compete with Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City is going to win the championship this year. I know that they lost home court. Joe, they're still going to win this series in 5, Joe. Because they're the better team.
Who? You think you really believe that?
Yeah. It's still Thunder in 5.
Thunder in 5. Okay, we got the video for that because I'm still picking Pacers in 6. I
never wavered.
I said that they were going to probably
5.
go ahead, and if they needed to get a game, we both agreed it would be the first game. Now, you didn't say that they were going to come out and win. I kind of said, hey, I think they're going to take the first one. That happened, but of course, OKC came out and they went ahead and took the second game handedly. Now they're going to go ahead and move over and compete in Indiana. Now, I think it's going to be another split, but at some point in time, I think Indiana will do enough to go ahead and win some other games, and I think it's going to end in 6, but I got the Pacers in 6.
Okay, OKC clamped down on Halliburton game 2. They clamped down on him pretty hard,
That means somebody else has to step up.
Well, right, but when Halliburton's your star, though, he's the best player on that team. I mean, Siakam's done well, but Halliburton.
Two halves for the Indiana Pacers. Halliburton might not do a goddamn thing that first half, but you know what? When it comes to that fourth quarter, that's his time to shine, man. The brother will just go off. 12 points.
At some point, the clock turns midnight, dude. It turns midnight at some point. And I've enjoyed the team of destiny aspect of it all. But at some point, dude, that goes away, man.
Yeah.
You know, that'll get you far, but that doesn't always take you over the top. The better team is Oklahoma City, and it's by far the better team. They clamped down on Halliburton game 2. All they got to do is win one of those games in Indiana, which they are. In fact, I believe they're going to win both games in Indiana. All they got to do is do that, and they come back home. They're going to take care of it in 5. Drew Show, another super chat.
Yep, let's play the jingle.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Drew Show says, did anyone declare Durant as their Sancha GM trade machine thingy? Spurs Twitter sure did jump off Giannis with quickness, LOL. Long off season. Well, you kind of have to. This reminds me, Joe. Thank you for the super chat there, Drew. This reminds me of going to the bar, and if you really like a girl and you want to ask her out, and she's not interested, what do? Pivot to the friend. You pivot to the friend, right? Giannis is apparently off the market. Giannis is there going, you're trying to talk to the cute girl at the bar. The cute girl being Giannis. Giannis went like this, married, not stepping out.
It's dumb because Giannis, what's he going to do with the Bucks? The Bucks probably aren't going to even sniff an NBA Finals anytime soon. They're not good enough, man.
I guess he has loyalty that we don't appreciate.
You know, it's just like the Spurs in the front office, how they have that stupid gentleman's agreement. That's a thing of the past, man. You can't be doing that crap no more. Mm-hmm. You know, F your feelings. Just go ahead and go out there and it's a business decision. You can't be making side bets with these guys and be like, we're going to cut you, but we're going to bring you right back. No, we're going to cut you. Bye. You're gone.
Hey, Giannis being loyal to Milwaukee, I mean, he ain't going to win, but at the same time, that's a big win for small market teams. It is. Why would he want to stay? Maybe he just loves the community there. I don't know, but Brian Windhorst of ESPN this morning coming out and saying there's no trade market for Giannis. There's been no trades for him. He has not requested a trade, basically saying that there's a 99.999% chance that it's not going to happen. He has 2 years left on this deal anyway. Milwaukee doesn't have to do anything yet. So all the attention is now going to who's the second best free agent available? Kevin Durant. The thing about it is this. The whole Giannis going to the Spurs thing, I never understood. Because I don't see how he fits on this team. Yes, he's a top 5 player in the NBA, and you want to have superstars, and I would have been thrilled if he came to the Spurs. But in the system of what the Spurs are trying to fit, he doesn't fit. Kevin Durant sure as hell does. Kevin Durant is the perfect free agent for the Spurs. Not only because it'll cost less, the Spurs can keep their war chest and keep Dylan Harper, but it's perfect because that's exactly what the Spurs need. What do we say the Spurs need, Joe?
Yeah, bucket getter, man. That's what he is.
Bucket getter. You need someone to score buckets. You need a 3-point threat, not just one like Champagny, who could knock down threes and then disappear for 2 weeks. Not like Harrison Barnes, who, you know, we know we're going to get 13 from him. We're going to get 13, 14 points, but that's it. We needed somebody who could volume shoot threes at a 40% clip, and that's what Kevin Durant does, man. We need somebody who can mentor Wemby. Wemby plays like Durant. That's perfect, Joe. He is the perfect free agent for this team.
Yeah,
the problem is that down I-10, you got the Houston Rockets who have better pieces to offer. So what do the Spurs have to offer? We have picks. But are we going to mortgage the future by getting rid of Dylan Harper? The answer should be no. Speaking of which, Bobby Marks from ESPN coming out and saying that the top 10 teams to watch this year include the Spurs. And they have these draft analysts going out and saying that there's 3 tiers of NBA of drafts this year. One is superstar. That's Cooper Flagg. Number 2, they said the future all-star, Dylan Harper. And they're going off and saying, Bobby Marks, all these guys coming out and saying, they don't believe anybody 3 and below is all-star material. Drew Show with another $2 super chat. What's going on, Drew?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Says the bar, so Spurs definitely ending up with the fat chick.
You know, we do have a a video here from Mario Cavazos, who's been sharing with the media share, and we're talking about trade scenarios and stuff like that. And this is pretty funny. This is how you become part of the show here. And he's saying, sharing a little excerpt from Gilbert Arenas on Carl Anthony Towns. He's saying he's built like a girl. He has girl hips. He's like a full WNBA player. Oh, God. Thanks, Mario. We appreciate you, and we appreciate Drew.
Joe, did you know that there was a Puerto Rican basketball league?
I had no idea there was a Puerto Rican basketball league, but I know where this is going.
So he was ejected from a basketball game. DeMarcus Cousins, who formerly played for the Sacramento Kings, that's where he was best known for.
Let me get.
He was known as a bit of a hothead in the NBA.
Yeah,
is apparently playing basketball out in Puerto Rico, and Yahoo Sports says that he was close to creating another Malice at the Palace yesterday because of fighting with a fan.
And there he goes.
He got into a verbal altercation with a fan.
And you could see.
And he's being thrown out of the game. And fans start throwing beer on him.
Look at as he gets out of the arena.
Okay, can you find a different angle real fast? Because there's a great angle of him close up, down low.
Yeah, I'll see what else I can find for him.
So here's the thing. The fan was out there flicking him off, just throwing him the bird like this as this was all going down. I don't fully blame DeMarcus Cousins. There needs to be some sort of policing the fans too, Joe.
Hey, man, it comes with the game. It's part of the game.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, Joe. You get to get Joe. You and I went to the Spurs game, right? We're in the fifth row. What do they say? You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't do this. If you want to sit down here, Joe, you and I were in the fifth row. We had to basically agree to certain types of behaviors.
But we were there with Leha too, and me and Leha were heckling Zach Collins the whole game. Even the Portland Trailblazers players heard us. We're calling them booty crumbs.
Yeah, well, it's not. But you weren't throwing the finger at them.
No, I was calling.
You weren't cursing at them.
Booty crumbs. And the Portland Trailblazers players looked at me and Leha, and they started laughing because we were calling our own guy booty crumbs. Look at that. There's the video, Mike. There he is with the fan. Throwing him the finger right there. You see that?
No. See, the player got up and got on the court. F that, dude.
He wanted that smoke, Mike.
Like what is he going to do?
He wanted that smoke.
DeMarcus Cousins should just retire, Joe. Here comes a transition. Speaking of retirement, we're going to hear it soon from Patty Mills. By the way, before we go to Patty Mills, Drew Show with another $5 super chat.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Says Cousins better watch himself. He'll end up like Bruiser Brody. Them Ricans don't play small, but they may be small, but they don't play. Height doesn't matter. Corrupt as heck, too. It's okay, man. They get pissed off because they get hurricanes all the time, dude. They get blown away by hurricanes every other year. But Joe, we're talking about retirement. Patty Mills has not officially retired from the NBA, but basically he has. Patty Mills is now going to be the general manager of the University of Hawaii. If you go on to my Twitter account, Joe, I posted a video of him talking about why he's making that move. Patty Mills, one of the most popular Spurs players the last 25 years, won multiple chips with the Spurs. He is a fan favorite. We love him. What a great guy in the community. Patty Mills is loved. I don't know, multiple chips. I think he won one, right? 2014.
Yeah.
Is what he won.
He's won multiple chips, I believe, here with the San Antonio Spurs. There you go.
Let's hear what he has to say.
Let's hear it.
Patty, I'm quite curious. Have you ever played in Hawaii at the Stan Sheriff Center? Or, if you have, I'm sure it was probably like a key, intriguing part of the reason why you picked Hawaii.
Yeah, it's a great question. And for those that don't know, my connection to UH goes back to 2007 when I played in the Rainbow Classic at the Stan Sheriff. So was able to take out that trophy and a little MVP trophy that now is in my parents' house on the top shelf of the trophy cabinet. So it's locked away nice and safe. But as I said, that was the first connection to UH and to Hawaii. And again, the connection of what I felt then was very similar to my upbringing, right? So, years later, me and my wife get married at Waimea Bay, and we had the entire family come over from Australia, and the similarities as I felt, they felt as well. So it's now when I'm sitting here talking about it, it's definitely not easy to describe. It's definitely a feeling that you feel, and I probably don't describe it enough. But it's one that definitely feels like a home, and also a part that you can add value to as well. But I'm very, very grateful for the community first and foremost for welcoming with open arms, me and my family. Especially my wife, all those years ago. So grateful for that.
And
That's
there you
former
go.
Spurs Patty Mills. That's courtesy of Justin Baptiste. Patty Mills, an all-time fan favorite for the Spurs. You look back at his career. He was the hype man for the Spurs squad. Knocked down 3 after 3 after 3 for this team. No one waved a towel better than Patty Mills. Ultimate towel waver. Loved Patty Mills out there. Just a fan favorite, man. Great guy in the community. Now he's transitioning out of the NBA and into college basketball. Now he can make a name for himself in there. As he said, he got married in Hawaii. He has an affinity for Hawaii. He has visited there several times. And now he's a resident of Hawaii. Patty Mills, now the general manager of the University of Hawaii basketball squad. Very nice. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, very nice to him, man. And we got an incoming chat here from Justin R. He says, "Congrats to Patty. He went from bench warming towel celebrations guy to a big part of the 2 finals teams and an Olympics bronze medal."
That's right. Yeah, so 1 chip. That's in 2014. I oftentimes forget that the Spurs lost in 2013. Just want to get that memory out of my head.
You know what? Drew is actually right here. We never had FIBA Patty in a regular season Spurs game. We never did.
Well, though the reason for no FIBA Patty is we don't play FIBA rules.
Yeah.
I mean, FIBA Patty is done in FIBA rules with a FIBA court and a FIBA basketball. So what FIBA basically is, for those of you who don't know, that's the way that they play international basketball. The basketball court dimensions are different.
Yeah.
The ball that they use is different. The lane is different. The foul calling is different. So FIBA, when Patty goes and plays ball over there, it's almost like playing, Joe, at the park.
Mm-hmm.
There's no blood, no foul. In the NBA, ticky-tack fouls happen all the time, which is why it takes a while for the NBA players to get acclimated to playing FIBA basketball, whether it be in the FIBA Cup or whether it be in the Olympics or whatnot, because they're used to drawing certain fouls, ticky-tack fouls that send them to the line, right? But in FIBA, dude, you can get mauled and not get a call for a foul, dude. That's just the way they play ball. So we didn't get FIBA Patty because we don't play FIBA rules over here in the United States. We play this lame-ass version of basketball called the NBA. Justin saying FIBA Patty had the greenest of green lights. Also, the dimension of the three-point line was different, Joe. It was like easier.
Yeah.
Wemby played FIBA ball, which is weird because FIBA ball is so rough. Why was he not ready for that the first year of the NBA, second year of the NBA? A little bit that kind of concerned me a little bit.
Wemby's not the physical type, man. More like Bobby Boucher. Remember the water boy? Where that coach came into the other coach's room and he says, "I'm taking that green notebook with all your plays." Goes, "It's going to get awfully physical in here." And he just sits down and cowers away. That's Wemby, man.
Yeah.
No, I say it with my chest out. I ain't scared to say
shit. He needs help, dude. He needs some shooting help big
more
time.
Than them Shaolin monks can give him, man. What he needs to do is get down there and go play some man ball somewhere and get, bodied and pushed around and get angry and have people in his face talking shit to him. That's going to make you play harder because you're used to that stuff already.
Yeah,
You know?
he should have been.
Yeah.
He was playing with grown ass men in France.
Yeah.
He should have been ready for it. He should have been ready for Dylan Brooks. Man, that pissed you off, Joe.
Look at
When
Coach
Dylan
Klein.
Brooks locked him up.
Wemby's Coach Klein. Little Dylan Brooks holding him down.
Yeah.
You better not get too close to me because it's gonna get awful physical in here. He just cowers away, you know.
Spurs need to get part of this arms race, and we've done some of it, Joe. The arms race is getting De'Aaron Fox, which is big. I don't think Spurs fans, you in particular, Joe, understand how good De'Aaron Fox is and can be for this team. It's weird, Joe, because like we look at the Spurs team getting 34 wins, but we didn't have De'Aaron Fox for 65 of those games, and when he was here, he was hurt, and then Wemby got hurt. If the Spurs are a healthy team, Joe, just as they are right now by getting Dylan Harper, that's a 45-win team. It better be a 45-win team. Joe, when I was at the sports books, the sports books in Vegas and in Laughlin, right?
Yeah.
The Caesar sports books. I'm looking at those odds for the Spurs winning the title, getting lower and lower and lower, which means that the bettors are buying into the Spurs having a good team this year. I saw the Spurs at 16-1. It's not bad. 16-1 to win the championship. Spurs get Kevin Durant. Spurs are going to be 6-1 to get him to win that chip.
Yeah. The Drew Show wants me to read his buy me a coffee post that he put on. I'm gonna go ahead and read that. Thank you, by the way, Drew Show. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we do,
go ahead
man.
and put that up here for him right now, and we'll just give him the money jingle.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
So he says, Joe, I hope your son is doing better. Thank you, Drew. He is. Appreciate that. So is Wemby shaving his head and living with the Shaolin monks, the b-ball equivalent of the Beatles, studying transcendental, he says, meditation in India with Yogi Yogi Maharshi. He says, Maharshi, he says, is he going to get into psychedelics and make Abbey Road, or will he go the way of Dewey Cox and walk hard?
Hey man, I'm not gonna to diss anybody for a spiritual awakening. If that helps him become a better person, that's great, man. But I'm more interested in him becoming a better ball player. He's an all-star. He's good. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year if he hadn't gotten hurt. I get it, but I don't know, man. That all seemed like photo ops to me.
How far do you think the Spurs are going to get next year? Because we've gone on record, me, you, and Pledger, and we said the trajectory of the team is playoffs or bust. If they don't at least make it to the playoffs, it's a wasted season. Fully healthy, right? If you have a fully healthy squad, meaning that you have De'Aaron Fox healthy, Wemby healthy, Castle healthy, Vassell, everybody on the team healthy, you would think that you would give yourself a chance to get past the play-in. I don't really see that for this team yet because they're still missing pieces. And every time you go up a notch, like you're going to go and compete at the play-in level, the intensity is amped up. The physicality is amped up. The Spurs aren't really a physical team, man. They don't get down in the trenches anymore. That's not them. That's not their identity. They don't have one. Their identity right now is being soft. If you want to get far into the playoffs, beyond just the play-in, you got to let your balls drop, man. You got to go out there and you got to go play man ball. You got to, get in the trenches. You got to go ahead and get physical. I don't see this team capable of that.
Yeah, because you know who they are already, right? And I think that Wemby has time to grow that pair that we're talking about.
Nah, man, he's shaved his head, Mike.
He's 20 years old, Joe. He's 20 years old.
Nah, bro.
He's 20 years old, 21 years old. He has time because he's younger now. He's still younger than what Robinson was and what Duncan was when they first joined this team. And he's already an all-star. So he has time to grow into that. I'm not going to really judge Wemby too much on not having that dog in him. I'll give him some crap about it from time to time, but I won't go like ballistic on it probably until he's 23. Beginning
you know
of
who
the
had
next
some
deal.
dog in him from back in the day? Antoine Carr, the big dog. Remember him from back in the day?
Yeah, he had no talent.
Yeah, but he had some dog in him. He'd get down and dirty,
Yeah, but he couldn't score for shit, and he couldn't rebound. And Antoine Carr was trash.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
but I mean, it's like, what do you rather have? The talented player who has no dog in him, or the player who has dog in him but can't shoot worth a damn? You know who has dog in him? Sohan, so he can't shoot for crap.
Nah, he's got some dog in him when it benefits him. He'll come out once in a while, but he's not like that all the time. The Spurs, what I'm saying is that they need an identity. Space Safe Invader says,
Yeah.
You're giving up on Wemby already. No, I'm not giving up on Wemby already. I'm just saying that at some point in time, you got to get tired of the losing, man. You got to go out there and do what you got to do to make your team win and will them to victory. You know, go grow a pair and actually go out there and play in the paint. You're the biggest guy out on the court. People are going to be able to push you around because you're thinner, you know, but you can go ahead and make your way to the basket, be aggressive, put your head down, get to the free throw line, help your team get back into the game.
If he has grown from 7'3" to 7'6", he needs to have a turnaround jumper because nobody's going to block it.
Fadeaway jumper. Who's going to stop that?
Fadeaway. No one's going to stop him if he just goes straight up.
What is it?
Fadeaway would be unblockable, but going straight up, there's only like maybe 4 people who could block him.
What's that saying? If he does that fadeaway, right?
Yeah.
You can't stop the rain when it's about to fall. You can't stop the rain from falling. You can't stop that fadeaway.
Our chat is powered by MCS General Contracting. David Martinez is on there saying that he'll take 2 years of Kevin Durant over Dylan Harper, which is 8 years of Dylan Harper. We don't need another guard. We've already been down the DeJounte Murray route. We can find guards, but KD and would fit seamlessly with Wemby. I agree with half of that, by the way. KD would fit seamlessly with Wemby and would fit with this lineup very well. But DeJounte Murray was pick number, 29 in the draft, Joe?
Yeah.
Dylan Harper's going to go number 2. He's going to go number 2 for a reason. It's because he's projected to be an all-star. He's projected to be a very, very good player in the NBA. He is higher rated as a college athlete coming out than was Stephon Castle. He's a better shooter than Castle. Castle's a better defender. But why not have both? But dude, the Spurs should look at this and go, look, we've got Harper, Castle, Fox, Wemby, right, Joe? Those 4 players right there?
Yeah.
Suns, you get 2 first-rounders and any 3 players you want to take over that salary cap space.
Look at that. This is the stuff that irritates me, man. Look at this. Space Safe Invader. Wemby averaged 24, 10, 4, and 4, a whole bunch of other numbers. He's doing just fine, really. And then look at, we have Justin R. He's the best defensive player in the league already. If he just had to go and get some post-up moves, turn around, you know, he'd be, I guess, turn around or a baby hook, you know, he'd be just fine. Here's the problem with that. For all the stuff that you all like to do, hyping up Wemby, generational talent, all these phrases you all like to say. When it happens to be Wemby going one-on-one with some of the best talent in the league, that mofo will fold faster than a $5 chair, dude. He doesn't have it in him, man. He's gone up against Giannis. Giannis has humbled the brother. Wemby has gone up against some of the better players in the league, and you would think he would show out. No, fades away. If you're going to be generational, you can't get punked like that. You know, you got to come back out and have some dog in you, have some competitiveness in you, have no quit in you, you know, and I don't see that out of him, man. I see it from time to time, but not consistently.
Agreed with all that, Joe. It's about consistency because that's what makes a star a superstar in the NBA. You know, you can get a big game out there from time to time from anybody, dude. We've seen Sohan go out there and shoot and make 35 points one game. It's can you do it consistently that really matters. Let's give some love to our good friend over at Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, and on Jeff Garcia's Twitter account, he reposted Something from Area 51.
Yeah, it's talking about Windhorst. He says,
Yeah.
I fully expect Kevin Durant to be traded in the upcoming weeks. Buckle up. It's about to get real bumpy. And I do like that picture that they have where they barely fit him in his little square there at the bottom. They can't zoom out on a little bit on that, brother. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's it's funny, man. Windhorst does a good job, though, man. I do appreciate his reporting on ESPN. I know LeBron has tried to distance himself from Windhorst, but Windhorst really made a career by following LeBron around, and his career and being part of his inner circle was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Let's give some love to MCS General Contracting, because I don't know if you went to before we showed this, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's go onto their Twitter account real fast. MCS General Contracting. You're wearing the hat.
I saw that. The hardest working people in the business, man. While we're out here doing our thing, they're out there doing their thing, laying down that diamond hard concrete, man. I'm gonna go ahead and show that to y'all.
Yeah.
Hardest working people in the business. Make sure you go and give them some love. They're not gonna always do it cheap, but they're gonna do it right the first time. And look at that.
Yeah,
man.
let's make this full screen real fast if we can.
Yeah.
We'll make this as a commercial here. We're laying that concrete down, and like I said, whether it's residential or commercial or business, if you need a patio, if you need a walkway, sidewalk, a slab to a home or a business, that's what MCS does, man. They do a fantastic job, and as Joe says, it's not doing it the cheap way; it's doing it the right way. I had them at my house. They put together a sidewalk for me. They put together an extended patio for me as well. Did a fantastic job. There's that number on the screen, 210-774-9155, 210-774-9155. And you can show my number real fast.
Yeah.
Or sending some love. Joe, I think I'm going to have a client appreciation event sometime in August, because August will be 20 years that I've been a financial advisor. 20-year anniversary. That's my number, 210-508-0369, 210-508-0369. If you have questions about retirement accounts, questions about life insurance, disability, long-term care, that's what I do for a living. I love doing this podcast, and it's so funny because people reach out to me all the time, and they're like, well, do you miss your old radio show? No, I don't. I like doing a podcast. Guess what happened when my radio show was taken away, Joe?
What?
Guess what? My business blew up. Okay, I was already doing well. I remember going back to the radio station with Rudy J, seeing me during commercial breaks do financial transactions, seeing me talk to clients during a 4-minute commercial break, hang up the phone, and go, "Welcome back."
Yeah,
I'm a financial guy through and through. I'm a very successful one at that. I now manage 21 million in investment assets, all since COVID, that I have accumulated, and that I have now managed life insurance, disability, long-term care. If you have questions about auto and homeowners insurance, give me a call, 210-508-0369. Joe, one last comment here. Safe Space Invaders.
Yeah, let's go ahead and show it. Let's go ahead and take away your number there, because I'm trying to click on the button.
Yeah, he's given Wemby that love, saying all the MVP candidates this year didn't dominate the year in year 1 and 2. Give me a break. Wemby is doing great. Basically saying, let's give it some time. Let him marinate. Let him cook.
Let's see if he feels the same if the Spurs don't make the playoffs. Oh, Wemby's doing great. Good for him. Rest of the team sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
We need stars, dude. We need stars, and Kevin Durant would be big.
When the going gets tough and the Spurs are in a play-in, and they need to win this game to go ahead and get past the play-in and go to the playoffs, he's going to fold, dude. He's going to fold and let you down. And let's see if you feel.
I'm watching all these comments coming in where people are talking about whether or not Wemby is a generational player, that he needs to be held to certain standards.
Yes.
The Jokic was not a generational player; he was a second-round draft pick. The Giannis was drafted number 15. He was outside of the lottery, so they've exceeded expectations. But Wemby had highest of high expectations, and can you say that he's met them so far? That's debatable, Joe. That's very debatable.
Putting up numbers against sorry teams and against lesser talent is one thing, but to go ahead and put up those same numbers consistently against some of the better talent in the NBA, that is going to go ahead and say, okay, maybe you are generational. But until that happens, he's just another dude right now that's a great player. He's a good player, but is he going to be that generational talent that everybody thinks he is? I don't know. It's too early to tell.
Safe Space again reaches out to us and says, Fox, Harper, Castle, Sohan, Wemby, have faith. One of those guys won't be on the team next year. That's going to be Sohan. Sohan will play one last season for the Spurs. He will, because that's the last year of his deal. When he becomes a free agent, Spurs aren't going to pick him up.
The problem is who's going to play defense? Spurs can't go ahead and stop anything, man. They can't. They don't have nobody that's going to go out there in the perimeter and stop a three from falling down. They're one of the worst teams when it comes to that. Teams just shoot lights out from beyond the arc against the San Antonio Spurs because they don't have a 3-and-D guy. They can't defend the perimeter well. That's why they always try to crowd up and play the inside lanes. They try to crowd up inside the paint because all they're trying to do is just hope the other team misses on their threes so they can get the long rebound and go the other way. They don't go out there and guard the three. They can't. They're incapable of doing that. Yeah. They don't have the personnel.
Agreed. Joe, let's lighten things up a little bit.
Yeah.
There is apparently a trend going on TikTok right now where, and if you go out on my Facebook page, because I posted this about Micah Parsons, RJ Ochoa from Blogging the Boys.
I'm going to go ahead and go there.
Originally tweeted it. The trend is for guys, adult men, to call another adult guy before going to bed and tell them good night. Why this is a trend, I don't know. But Micah Parsons, before going to bed a couple of nights ago, made a phone call. And he chose to call new head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
What you doing, man? You all right?
You want to play the video?
Yeah. Here's Micah Parsons.
What up, buddy?
What up, Coach?
What you doing, man? You all right?
Yeah, I just wanted to say goodnight.
Okay. I love that, bro. What's going on? Y'all good?
Hell yeah. I just feel like, as player to coach, just checking in on you, mental, say goodnight, hope fans well, see you Monday, excited about next week. Just a good night.
Well, good, man. Well, hey, look, I know this is weird for everybody, man, but look, you're handling everything the right way, bro, and this thing's going to get worked out, and again, I'm thrilled to see where we take this thing, man. We're building something special, and you're going to be a huge part of it, bro.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Shotty. Take a shotty from me when you got a chance, man.
Hey, I'm drinking a shotty right now, man. Get ready to hit it and turn it for the night, brother.
Hell yeah.
Hey, I appreciate the call, man, for real. And I look forward to seeing you Monday, and it's going to be a great week.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
All right. That was wholesome. It was stupid, but it was wholesome, Joe. What are your thoughts of Micah Parsons? Who you could tell Micah Parsons loves him some social media, Joe. He loves TikTok. He loves Instagram. He loves all of it. He does the podcasting, right? We talk about how players, we want players to be vocal, but then we diss Micah Parsons when he does, right? But Micah Parsons going out there, taking part of this TikTok trend and reaching out to his coach to say good night. What did you think of it, Joe?
I just think it's goofy as hell, dude.
So you're saying is if you got a call from me at 11 o'clock tonight, Joe, and I said, Joe, hey, Jimenez, I'm about to go sleep, man. I just want to say good night. What would you say, Joe?
Mas puto. Like, you goofy ass mother. What the hell are you doing, Mike? Get off the damn phone.
So Pleasure and I used to always talk about the fact that is it appropriate for guys to FaceTime each other?
It depends on the context, man. Like if you're with your boys and you're clowning somebody else or somebody's doing something funny, yeah, go ahead and FaceTime and something like that. But if you're just calling your boy, oh, let me put you on FaceTime. Why?
Well, because our good friend Sean Quintero, who's on the chat right now, has in the past just FaceTimed me just because. It wasn't to show me anything or demonstrate anything. It was just to say, hey, what's up, man? So if I was just to FaceTime you and just randomly throughout the day go, hey, what's up, man? Just want to say hi.
No, man, if you're trying to FaceTime me and I see like the video coming through, I wouldn't even answer it. I'd be like, no, hell with that freaking goofy ass mother. I ain't going to answer that shit. You want to call me straight up.
I one time FaceTime James Pledger when I was working at San Antonio Sports Star, And I FaceTimed him because I wanted to show him something. So it wasn't like I just wanted to say hi. There's something going on behind me or whatever. And he was asleep when he answered the phone. So he answers the phone, not realizing that it's a FaceTime. And then he's so groggy, and it was probably a Saturday morning. He'd probably gone to the Root Pub the night before or something.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Am I on FaceTime? What's wrong? What's going on?" It was so weirdest thing.
Where am I?
Yeah, I felt so bad. You know what it was? I was calling him because I think I wanted to show him, like, I don't know, I was at some bar. It was like 11 o'clock for college football, whatever it was. That was funny, dude. Funny.
No, man. FaceTiming your boys is goofy, dude. I'd be like, no, that's immediately gonna get you blocked, bro. What the hell you FaceTiming me for? Every time you call me, this mother over here always wanting to FaceTime me. No, block. Blocked.
Hey, Joe, what about during COVID, Joe, when you would have like Zooms with friends? Did you ever do that?
No, man. You call your people up, man. I mean, if you're gonna get together in a Zoom meeting, it better be for work, man, because I ain't getting together just to go ahead and Zoom with my friends. I can call them, man.
Dude, that was a big deal during COVID, man. Have a Zoom party. Did you have Zoom happy hour?
Nah, man. I was in COVID. I was just here chilling in the backyard. I call my boys up. They'd be at their houses or whatever. They'd be drinking. The only thing that I think we ever did one time was do like a conference call. We had like 3 or 4 of our boys together. Everybody was in their respective houses. Everybody was drinking or barbecuing or something. Hey, man, what's going on? You doing all right? You know, that kind of stuff, just shooting the shit. It wasn't even a very long call. Everybody just calling in to check in on each other and say hi all at once. And that was about it. You know, we didn't need to go ahead and let me get you on FaceTime or whatever. No, I know what you look like, man. I don't want to see your ugly mug. No, I'm good, man.
Nah, Chica and I used to always FaceTime each other when we started dating.
Jeez.
That's a different thing, man. Chica and I would always just FaceTime each other and all that. You know, it's funny, when I met Chica, I find Chica to be attractive, and she would send me photos of her because she I remember when we first started dating, she would go to casinos, and she'd go to Lake Charles or whatever, and she would send me photos from there, and I thought I was being catfished. I talked with her for like a month, not realizing I had, you know, we didn't FaceTime the first month or so. We were just talking on the phone and exchanging photos. And when I saw her in person, I met her in person.
Yeah.
3 seconds after I met her in person, I was kissing her. I was like,
3 seconds.
I was like, you were for real. I saw her. I just walked up to her. Well, actually, I froze for about 4 seconds, and then when I unfroze, I kissed her. And it reminds me of that movie. What movie was it? Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris. God, it's a Christmas movie.
This where he was a real big fat dude, and he had a
Just Friends. Friends. Yeah, Amy Smart. And there's a scene in the movie where Ryan Reynolds says, "If you like the girl, kiss the girl."
Yeah.
He goes, because friends don't kiss. He also has a line in the movie that says, "Never take a girl out to a lunch date. Never take her to coffee. Always take her to dinner. Always take her to some place where it's at night. Because if it's during the day, it ain't a date. Just kiss her."
Oh my God!
So that was going through my head. So when I saw her, I thought she looked great. I was like, "Oh my God!" And then I spazzed out for 4 seconds, and then I just went, "I'm gonna just go up to her and kiss her," and I did. And we started our date. I didn't wait till the end of the date. I kissed her 4 seconds into it, and we're off and running.
Ask her about this one, man. Like, you're not even gonna eat your food, like hang out and chill. You gotta go right in and just kiss her right off the bat. Why?
Well, it's not like I had not known her. We talked on the phone for over a month, and then at that point we started doing FaceTime because she didn't like FaceTime for some reason.
Yeah.
No, kissed on the first date. 4 seconds in, 5 seconds in.
4 seconds in.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Hugger in the first second, kissed her in 3, got cochino in 10. All the proof he wasn't being catfished. Hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and show this too as we start, getting the show ready to close here in a couple minutes. There's a fight that's been announced, man, that we have Canelo and Terrence Crawford happening on September 13th, it's going to happen can only be seen live globally on Netflix. I don't know how I feel about this, man. We've seen the debacle that Netflix has had when they've
Yeah.
tried to go ahead and stream boxing matches, notably the Tyson versus Paul match. That was a debacle of epic proportions because nobody could watch it because the stream kept dropping. It was horrible, poor quality. People complained. Netflix has done little to, shore up their infrastructure when it comes to that. The only way that you're going to fix that is you have to have more servers, and they're very expensive. I don't
Right.
think Netflix is ready for this, man. I fully expect them to shit the bed again when it comes to this event. Hopefully they've done things and maybe it'll be a little bit better, but a lot of people are going to be going and getting their Netflix subscription just for this fight.
Well, I mean, I kind of think everybody has Netflix.
But
Mike,
when you're
you-
watching it at home, right, and you're watching
Right.
Netflix and you're watching, different movies or whatever, it's a different take on things
Right.
because a lot of these are cached or whatever, in the server, and it's not putting that kind of a strain. But when you're doing something live, people are tuning in and watching. It puts a lot of strain on the network.
It does.
And I don't think Netflix has shored up their network yet.
Well, I trust Peacock because NBC does a good job. I trust Hulu. Hulu's in bed with ESPN.
Even
trust
even
Amazon.
The Paramount Plus does a good job of showing NFL games and whatnot.
I think that Netflix has no other option but to do this correctly. Because if they mess up twice, and it's 12 to 18 months apart from each other,
Yeah,
it would be an embarrassment of biblical proportions for that company.
I'm paying almost $30 a month for Netflix, dude. Come on, get
Yeah.
it together, man.
It used to be $6.
Used to way back when it was just streaming alone, but now forget it, dude. With all the stuff that they're cranking out and every let's say all the licensing rights that they have to buy to show movies and series and all this stuff, it's getting too expensive now. I'm not gonna if Netflix raises its rates again to like beyond $30, I'm done with it, dude.
Yeah. Chica was telling me the other day that she wants to cut our subscriptions, right?
Yeah.
So I started cutting them out, and a few months ago, I got rid of Paramount. I got rid of Peacock. I got rid of, one of my car washes. I got rid of like a lot of different things, right? Tallied it all up. It's like $60-$70. And she goes, okay, well, let's keep cutting. I'm like, we're cutting what? She goes, well, like we'll cut Hulu. I'm like, the hell you are. Like, because I watch Hulu. She watches Netflix. I said, well, let's cut Netflix. I watch stuff on Netflix. I said, well, I watch stuff on Hulu. And we're going back and forth about this, debating it. And I said, why are we talking about $10? It's $10.
Yeah.
Either A, it's insignificant, or B, I'll just go make more money. Okay? I'm not hurting for $10, Joe. But you know what I am hurting from, Joe? And this is it's stupid to sound. Chica and I have taken so many trips in our first year together that we're tired. And we've got 2 more trips, Joe. 2 more trips lined up in the next month. And I told her at that point, we're not doing anything for 6. Like we're not even going to take a day trip for 6 months.
Look at
Here's
Elias.
Yeah.
He says Joe won't sit with the peasants, but he's upset over Netflix prices. You know what? I am, because that's $30 they're taking away from me, and I could use that to go to a different venue, go take in a show or something, so I don't have to sit with y'all, especially with Elias. I don't want to be sitting with him.
Joe, 2 more trips, Joe. Gonna be in the Dominican Republic next week, Joe. So if LG can sit in on Friday, that'd be amazing. Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Oh God, look at Rafa. Did Mike cut off Brazzers as well?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh my God, dude. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
I have so many subscriptions, blah. Yeah, I don't have a lot of subscriptions. The only things that I have subscribed to currently, I think, is Netflix, Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus, Peacock, and I think that's about it. That'll do me. Oh, I got a new one recently. I got Philo TV because I wanted to see me some live TV, and they have the what do you call it, the DVR and all that. So I got that. That's like $30 a month. One of them's got to go, man. Am I going to go watch like live TV, or I'm going to roll with Netflix I rarely use? It's mostly the kids that use Netflix. If that's the case, I'm just going to get rid of Netflix altogether.
Yeah, no, you can't get rid of it. The kids are doing it, dude.
No, hey, they make their own money.
And the way
buy it.
the way us Mexicanos work is, my Netflix is my parents' Netflix, which is my daughter's Netflix, which is my nephew's Netflix, and which is, Chica's kids' Netflix. Like we were all the same plan.
I'm cold, dude. The kids are working. They're making their own money. They all want Netflix. Y'all buy it. I'm done. Oh, and I'm going to tell you about the Predator, dude. I did see Predator. Predator was good, man. It's called Killer of Killers. And I got to say, compared to the other films in the genre of the Predator franchise, this is an animated film, right? Predator, Killer of Killers. It just came out last week on Hulu. You can go ahead and watch it there. It was really good, man. I really enjoyed this one. When I stack it up against the other movies that are in the franchise, this one is probably even better than Prey. Prey to me is one of the top movie right now in the Predator franchise. Then of course the OG one, but right now it's Killer of Killers, Prey, and then the OG Predator movie. Killer of Killers is really good. It's surrounded around 3 characters from different times periods, and it tells their stories and them going against the Predators, and how they dispatched one in their timeline, and what happens to all these people who, let's say, defeat a Predator. What happens to them? It shows you a lot more than what you think. The story's real deep, intricate. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of action in there. Had a lot of meaning, man. And especially if you stay till the end and you watch everything that's unfolding there, you're going to be treated to something that you're going to really, really like, dude. I enjoyed it. I highly recommend that you go and check it out if you're a fan of the Predator franchise. And it's one of the highest rated Predator movies that's ever been had over on Rotten Tomatoes. It has one of the highest ratings for a good reason.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I've only seen a couple of the franchise movies. How many did you say there were?
Oh, there's a couple, man. They have the original Predator, Predator 2. Then you have like Aliens versus Predator, Alien versus Predator, Requiem, Predators. Then you have the new Predator movie that they try to reboot. And some of these have not been good. Like Predator 2 was awful, man. It suffered from bad storyline, bad acting. The only thing that was good, the saving grace, was the end of the movie. That was cool. Some of the fight scenes were cool. Other than that, the movie was just forgettable. But out of looking at all these Predator movies that I have seen, Aliens versus Predator was good too. I didn't mind that one. It was all right. It wasn't like groundbreaking. But Predators, I did enjoy Predators. When I watched Predators, I liked that one. But this one is different, man. This one they took their time with on Killer versus Killers. It's showing you what you can do with just a good storyline. Like if you have a good storyline and you have good voice acting and whatnot, and this is an animated flick, it's great, man. Well done. Go check it out, Mike, if you haven't. Go. Even you would like this movie. You would see it and you'd be like, it's a cartoon. No, watch it with an open mind, and you think you're going to dig it, dude.
Interesting. I saw Mission Impossible 5 over the weekend while I was there in Nevada. Took a break from gambling to go to the movie theater. One of the casinos there has a theater inside there.
You saw the latest Mission Impossible?
Yeah. Mission Impossible, whatever it was called. It was one of the best hour-and-a-half long naps I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh, Mike. Oh, look, we got an incoming super chat from the Drew Show.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He says, my favorite is Predator 2 because Bill Paxton's semen sample. He says, urine sample, blood sample, underwear joke. He goes, Predator meets Lethal Weapon. Yeah. Because they had
Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon was a good movie back in the day, man. Do you know what that's going to be? I always watch something in the background while I'm doing people's investments and insurances. I think Lethal Weapon might be the one I'll watch today. Thanks for the reference there, Drew. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the super chats that we got in today.
Yeah, so Mike didn't like Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. You know why you didn't like this film?
What's that?
Because you haven't probably watched all the films from the beginning all the way up to now.
I saw 2 of them.
So when you watch the films in their entirety, right, and then you see The Final Reckoning, there's a lot of little things that are in that movie, The Final Reckoning.
They alluded to They alluded to all the
ties it
other
up.
movies. Yeah.
It ties things up really well, you know. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. I mean, they had a really good scene in there when he's in that sub, you know, and it's kind of rolling off that hill
Yeah.
underwater. That was a good scene. Even him just coming out of the sub just to get to the other one that's sunken.
Yeah, but when the whole plane sequence had,
You didn't appreciate that.
I mean, I appreciate that a lot. That most of it was done in real life, right? He was
Yeah.
doing his own stunts, but some of the things that they were doing, man, come on, man. Like, I like Top Gun Maverick better, personally.
Hey, look at that. The new Mission Impossible was great. Thank you, Mexican Juniors. It's a nice way to finish the series for Tom Cruise. It tied into all of them. It did, dude. It was good, Mike. It was good. But you're not a fan of that because you haven't watched all the movies. You don't know what's happening.
It was all right. It was all right. Joe, gotta take off, man. Thank you to DJLG for filling in on Friday. I'll be here all week if you want me, Joe. I'll be here the rest of the week if you want me.
Yeah, why don't you hear the rest of the week?
Next week, Monday through Thursday for me. We'll need somebody for Friday of next week.
Maybe I'll talk to my boys and see who's available. But we'll see if we can get El Jefe on for tomorrow so he can talk to us about some of the Spurs rumors.
Sounds good, brother. All right, my man. Thank you again for all the super chats, dude. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out the door.
All right, see you boys tomorrow. We're out. Peace.